I love this book. And by the way, we're relaunching it. It looks amazing. Aren't you happy with the way this looks?
I'm thrilled that's one of the things that people put the book in their hand
Yeah,
and they're like, the feel of it just feels so great. And the cover of the widow journal is
so good.
beautiful. And then the grief journal is just as beautiful in a whole different way. But
Yeah.
people are just so drawn into the beauty and the sort of the peace that it gives you as soon as you put it in your hand.
Well, let's talk about what this is going to be because we met through, was it Strategic Coach?
Yep. There's
Yeah.
strategic coach.
Yeah. And immediately I started hearing your heart and I said, "Oh my gosh, this is a resource." I think it's a brand match. We're igniting souls, but if you
Yeah.
care about people, which I know you do, but I'm talking to the public here. If the folks care about people, and I know they do, otherwise they wouldn't be listening. This is a resource that you can hand people. What is this going to do?
This, it's interesting. I sent someone said, when people have no words, this book gives all the words that are needed.
Ooh,
And
that's deep.
we as humans struggle with what to say to someone when they're in grief. And
Yes.
I've gone through grief training. And one of the things they tell you is don't say, "Oh, I'm so sorry," because you are never going to be as sorry as the person who lost their loved one. So these words sound trite, they're just
Mm,
empty. And the other thing is when people say, "Oh, call me if you ever need anything." Well, the
yeah.
person grieving, they are not in the frame of mind to think of anything that they need. They're struggling. So this is a perfect gift to give to someone. Instead of just offering some words, give them something substantial. And also, this is a much better tool or gift than another casserole,
Mm,
because half people will tell you they throw away half the food. They can't eat. They can't get through it. The other thing is flowers. We all want to send flowers, and flowers are wonderful, but what flowers are often at the funeral or at the wake, and
wow.
then the flowers become a burden to keep alive when you're now
Wow.
dealing with someone who's died, and that is really difficult. So this is such a nice tool gift to leave behind for someone that they can pick up when they're ready.
I
And
never
one
thought about that, by the way.
really,
You did something in my mind where I don't even think we try to do this, but when we buy somebody flowers when there was a funeral, or now they have to see those flowers die.
yep, and it's
And now
another
it's like,
death.
oh my gosh, I never thought of that. So
Yeah.
your book provides tools and resources and hope. What are people going to find when they purchase a copy?
So initially, if people aren't thinking carefully, they think it's my journey as a widow, but I am not a widow. It is all about their journey. So this is not telling them what to do. This is offering some
Mm,
guidance. So some people, I've written it sort of the chronologically. So when you first are widowed, you find out you're suddenly single. And then you realize that when is this grief going to end? There's just no time frame for grief.
mm.
And then you're going to come through obstacles. And then I've gone through some chapters on faith and wisdom and gratitude, love, money.
Wow.
So kind of important topics that people need to deal with. People often don't feel grateful when they've lost a loved one.
Yeah.
They don't think they'll ever love again. But love is in our hearts, gratitude's in our hearts, and it's trying to bring it out and find ways to help people do that. And then you get to a point where you're moving forward and you're sort of standing on your own 2 feet again. And so some people choose to do it chronologically, but one friend said, as a 2-year out widow, I was gifted this book, and I immediately started to give it to a friend, thinking I was through my journey. And then I realized as I looked at it, I wasn't. So I kept it.
Wow.
And she said, I'm going to read you here. It was page 99. She just opened it, and random it said, "Do not think of me as gone. I am with you still in each new dawn." Native American poem. And they're quotes. So they're quotes that are going to get you at different points. And some quotes won't speak to people, but other quotes like that one, she picked it up and she didn't stop journaling from that point. She just would randomly say,
Eh,
"This quote speaks to me today," and she would journal on what that was in her heart at that moment. So people look at it all different ways, and then there are people who say, "I don't journal. I said, that's okay. You can still read it. You can still read a quote and ponder it. You don't have to write about it. And I think that's what's really important is you can use this any way you want. And, it's just to help you get out of your head,
Yes.
and back into your heart at a time when you just don't know where to turn and navigate. And this is a way to process emotions, which I think is so important.